Crypto kids, I'm about to show you a chart which I quite find shocking. If you look at the M2 money supply and Bitcoin correlation, you can clearly see that there is some sort of divergence and a catch-up trade to be played. But actually, when you add one simple pattern, it gives you much more confidence that Bitcoin is going to continue breaking further to the upside, simply because there is a rising wedge, which typically is a bearish pattern, but this exact same pattern was created on the M2 money supply. And we know that as money devalues, the price of risk on and risk off assets increase. If you double the money supply, which is what happened in 2020, the US doubled the money supply, money became 50% less valuable when you doubled the money supply. So let's say a bottle of water here, if a bottle of water was $1 in 2019, after money supply doubling, because the demand for a water bottle remains the same, theoretically it would go up by 100%. And that is inflation. And to protect your capital from inflation, which is the M2 money supply, the yellow line going to the upside, investors put their money into things like Bitcoin, the stock market, gold, etc., which gold is also flying as the sort of strength of the dollar is diminishing. Things like precious metals, silver, gold, Bitcoin, they are going to the upside. The thing is, on the S&P 500, the correlation of money devaluing, M2 money supply, and the value of the stock market is pretty much on par. There's no delay between the two. And this is because there's no delay because the current financial system is very used to printing money, and that new printed money from the central bank gets easily flooded into the stock market without much of a delay. So when you look at the M2 money supply and the S&P 500 chart, you're not going to notice any sort of gap. But when you go into Bitcoin, since Bitcoin is only newly being institutionalized, since the amount of access into Bitcoin is increasing every single day, there's still a little bit of a gap. There's a catch-up trade to do. In the historical price action, you can see that the M2 money supply and Bitcoin have a very positive, very positive correlation, which means that they follow and track each other quite well. But due to this lag we have in the system, there's a window for us, an opportunity to take advantage of. All right, we can see that the M2 money supply chart, the yellow line, has already broken above this ascending wedge, the rising wedge. Right, we've already broken to the upside. And that's foreshadowing to you the same is very likely going to happen to Bitcoin. So where people like Capo is highlighting this pattern, saying that Bitcoin is about to see a dump, I'm telling you the opposite. I think that Bitcoin is going to follow M2 money supply and experience a break up. Now, where is that breakout going to take us? 150, 160, 170, 200? That time will tell. It's very tough to give a specific price prediction. But for me, the base case is that Bitcoin is going to accelerate. What's even cooler is, yes, Bitcoin has some sort of a lag with the M2 money supply, but what has a greater lag is the total 3 CryptoCap charts. The total 3 CryptoCap chart is representing every single cryptocurrency, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Bitcoin, obviously, right, it's becoming more institutionalized. Institutional capital can invest more easily into Bitcoin. But when it comes to altcoins, that's way more complicated. Ethereum, maybe a little bit, but Solana is now going to be getting its Fidelity ETF. Other cryptocurrencies will be receiving ETFs quite soon. But the availability of institutional funding into altcoins is way more limited in comparison to not things like the stock market, but in comparison to Bitcoin alone. It's very much limited. So the delay of money being printed and put into the system of altcoins is even wider. And that delay is an opportunity to make, in my opinion, significant amounts of money. So with the total 3 CryptoCap chart, we don't have a rising wedge, we have an ascending triangle, which is better because that's a bullish continuation pattern. I think we're going to see a pretty good break to the upside. I'm expecting approximately 100% increase in the total 3 CryptoCap charts, which means that most large caps should go up by 100%, and that's going to be altcoin season. Some altcoins that I'm super bullish on include Sui. I want to highlight something on Sui. Look, there is currently a very nice bull flag happening on the daily time frame for the Sui chart. Okay, the last times we had the same sort of bull flag structure that took place, the price of Sui experienced a significant break to the upside. As soon as SUI is able to see a breakout above the resistance of 3.8, I think we're going to fly. Look, this is happening not just once in history, but it's happened twice in the recent history on a macro scale like the daily time frame. If I go to a bigger picture for SUI, so if we go SUI USDT, you will notice that there is not just these bull flags, but actually there is a very nice, very nice bullish pennant forming for the price chart of SUI. So SUI is one which I'm pretty much very confident in. Then we have Solana, massive cup and handle pattern, very similar to a macro pattern that formed on gold, which ended up breaking massively to the upside. So did Bitcoin. If you go to BNB also had a very significant break upwards, and that break upwards from the multi-cycle inverse head and shoulder made us very good money. And yesterday we took profits exactly at $1,300. So congrats if you were able to follow the videos and take profits, because if you didn't, then you would have made less profits. And also congrats to everybody that's been following the Telegram community and these videos on a daily basis. 2 videos ago, we predicted, so this is a macro video, but for the shorter term time frame, we predicted on this video the exact drop that would happen to Bitcoin to 19,750, and also the exact drop that would happen to Ethereum at 4,365, which we've fallen a little bit below. But a short-term update will come tomorrow. Today is more of a macro analysis. If you want to stay tuned on all the charts that I share, make sure to join my free Telegram community. That is linked in the description down below. When I can't make a video, I do post my analysis here. So 7th of October, I posted this analysis saying that Bitcoin, when it was at 123, we're likely going to drop to 119,750. And fast forward to today, that has happened exactly as predicted. So link is in the description down below to my free Telegram community, where I can post my analysis when I don't have the time to make an individual video. Also, if you want to potentially win up to $500, go to the first link in the description down below and join the trading competition that we have running on Weeks. If you want to buy the dip using trading bots, futures trading bots, you can go to the second link in the description and sign up to Pinex. When you deposit $100, you're going to get a $100 bonus to then try out those trading bots. Links are down in the description below. So SUI, for me, is a very good one. I also quite like Cardano. Cardano, for me, is also a very nice pick. When we go into the daily time frame, we highlighted the triple tops on the Solanas, etc. on the shorter term time frame. So tomorrow is going to be more focused on the short-term analysis. I want to stick to the macro on today's video. I want to go to the Cardano chart right there. So if you notice, just like SUI, there's a pattern that forms quite repetitively. In this case, it is a downward sloping trend line, which you consolidate below until you see a massive break to the upside. Huge consolidation below the downward sloping trend line, massive break to the upside. Downward sloping trend line, massive break to the upside. Very bullish on Cardano. And then I obviously like Ethereum. Ethereum, I think we're going to struggle a little bit here with the resistance from the prior all-time highs, right? And that's normal, but as soon as we cross over 4,800 with a confirmation, I think it's go time for Ethereum, and we will follow along with the Bitcoin correlation and reach the $8,000 level. So that's my personal prediction, and I'm anticipating that to take place, the ignition to at least take place within the next 2 months. So that's what I'm expecting for altcoins. I like those 3 altcoins in particular. You know that I like a bunch more, but we'll keep on updating you on every single video whenever I have new altcoins to share. But I found that Bitcoin chart shocking. I think even in this drop, it's good to be still a little bit excited because I think the next few months are going to be quite good for the crypto market. So with that said, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And guys and girls, make sure to destroy the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next video tomorrow. Take care and bye-bye.